Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from Group 5, consisting of Muthiya, Kafa, Syalika, and me, Tahlia Izwah. Today we will present the result of our analysis based on a podcast titled Unpacking Papua, Race, History, and National Identity in Indonesia. So, let's discuss the content of the podcast. This podcast discusses the riot that happened in Surabaya and Manokwari, which are related to the long-standing conflicts involving West Papua. The host Stefan and Swedenly talk about several important aspects such as racial tensions, historical injustice, and the role of misinformation in shaping public opinion. The main idea is the West Papua conflict involves historical injustice, racial discrimination, misinformation, education gaps, and cultural appropriation. Some important keywords related to this topic are West Papua, Indonesia, racial tensions, cultural, national identity, education, patriotism, prejudice, historical injustice, misinformation, social justice, development, underdevelopment, equality, stereotype, discrimination, tribe, and natural resources. The next part of the analysis will be explained by my friend, Muthiya.
Thank you, Tahlia, for the presentation. Next, I'm going to present about the 5W and 1H. First question is, who are the speakers in the podcast? The speaker in the podcast are Stephanie Takelisan and Sweden Lee. The second question is, what does the podcast discuss about? The podcast discusses the recent riots in Surabaya and Manokwari, Indonesia, which were sparked by racial tensions and a specific incident involving the arrest of 43 West Papuan students accused of desecrating the Indonesian flag. When was the podcast uploaded? The podcast was uploaded on 22 August 2019. Where was the podcast uploaded? It was uploaded on Dialogika Podcast's YouTube. Why is the podcast uploaded? The podcast was uploaded to raise awareness about the West Papua issue and to start conversation about racism and injustice in Indonesia. The hosts want people to understand what's happening, reflect on their own views, and learn more about the history and struggles of West Papuans. How do the speaker explain the topics of the podcast? Stephanie and Sweden Lee explain the topic by connecting the recent protest to West Papua's history and racial issues in Indonesia. They talk about the arrest of 43 students, the spread of misinformation, and how these events relate to deeper problems like inequality and past political decisions. They admit they are not experts, but try to make the topic clear and encourage listeners to think and learn more. The next topic is about facts and opinion we can find in the podcast. Let's get into it. So for the facts, the first one is West Papuan students were arrested for allegedly desecrating the Indonesian flag, which sparked protests in Surabaya and Manokwari. The second one, West Papua's integration into Indonesia has been a continuous issue since the 1969 Act of Free Choice, where only a limited number of representatives voted on a status. The third one, racial tensions and perceptions of inequality for West Papuans are significant factors in the ongoing conflict. The next one is opinions. The first one, the host suggests that the historical context of colonialism and the controversial integration of West Papua into Indonesia is essential for understanding the present-day conflict. The second one, the host also encouraged listeners to educate themselves on the issue and have the conversation about facial prejudices and cultural appropriation in Indonesia. So the conclusion of the podcast is that the podcast offers a thoughtful reflection on the West Papua conflict by connecting current events with key historical and social issues in Indonesia. Through the lens of recent riots and arrests, Stephanie and Sweden Lee shed light on the long-standing grievances of West Papuans, rooted in colonial history and racial inequality. By highlighting the flaws in the act of free choice and the role of misinformation in fueling unrest, they stress the importance of confronting uncomfortable truths about identity, inclusion, and justice in Indonesia. Through their discussion, the hosts emphasized the importance of addressing racial prejudices, educating oneself on the issue, and engaging in conversations about the ongoing struggles faced by West Papuans within Indonesia. That's all from Group 5. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.